Jimmy McAllister found the net. Goal for Wednesday.
Terrific goal by Taylor.
Chris Waddle, is he going to have a crack?
Oh, he does, and it's goal. Still Glenn Wheeler. Aidan Fred wrecks the Is there time for a winner?
I'm not sure what to say in all honesty. Administration should be one of the worst moments in the club's history. Some will say that it still is. It's the first time that we've had to call upon the administrators in our 158-year history, but it's a moment that I will personally be celebrating. It's the end for Chancery. It's the start of a new beginning. I never thought this point would come through the protesting, speaking about it on a regular basis, seemingly every single day. All the people that we've spoken to in recent months, embargoes, restrictions, and now we've got points deductions as well. A 12 points deduction already given to us. I'd have taken minus 40, to be fair, if that meant that he was gone. But yeah, I'm getting, today's been so emotional. I'm getting emotional already this afternoon. This whole process from a personal perspective has been so mentally draining on all fronts, but hopefully we're getting near the end. Obviously, as well, I urge everyone to get down to Hillsborough tomorrow. There's 5,000 tickets left. I think when someone last checked. If you can get down to Hillsborough, please do get down. It's not just myself this evening. I'm, of course, joined by Mr. Matt Johnson. Matt, how's things, mate? You all right?
I'm all right, mate. I'm finally grateful I can sport this shocker of an away shirt, but I would encourage anybody to buy it. Really, 100%. If you can afford it, if you could want to treat yourself to a Christmas present that you can look back on and smile. Owl that's not quite central, do it. Get involved.
Yeah. 100%, definitely. I've sorted all the graphics out. I need to sort out the intro. It's still got black and gold. I will sort it by Sunday. Don't worry. I'm also delighted to say I'm joined by Chris Wigfield, one of the administrators, and also Kieron Maguire, football finance expert and regular guest on the podcast. I'm sure Kieron's absolutely mortified that this is going to be over soon, because Kieron, you've had quite the mileage out of Sheffield Wednesday, haven't you, recently?
I feel like the Grim Reaper, sadly.
Yeah, I'm going to be gutted not to hear about Sheffield Wednesday on your podcast. I have to say that. But no, I know you guys haven't got too long. I know, Chris, it's been a bit of a whirlwind day for you, I guess. I mean, your message say, I need a charger, my phone's going to die. It's been a bit mental, hasn't it, Chris?
It has been ridiculous. I've got to say, my phone has never been so hot. So, it's been a manic day. Started with the stress of whether we were actually going to get the owner to agree to put the club into administration and the ground. We got over that hurdle. So then I was straight at Middlewood Training Ground speaking to the players and coaching staff. I was there for an hour. That went really well. The players are really receptive. They were very pleased about it. I think from their point of view, they can draw a line under it and look forward to playing a packed out Hillsborough instead of a quiet one. And then it's been all sorts. We've been wondering whether we've got enough staff to sell shirts. Have we got any beer in the ground? We're going to have nearly 30,000 people. We've got no beer. We've got no pies. So we've pulled off miracles, and we've got some pies and we've got some beer. So, hopefully it'll be a good day tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, the first question I want to kind of ask is, why was the club not sold previously? And do you know why it's taken to the point of going into administration? Like, we've heard rumours of kind of bids that have been rejected. I mean, I don't know if you know the answer to these questions. Were they actually legitimate bids that have been rejected by, I don't even want to say his name, the former owner, I think we can call him?
Well, obviously that was part of the process that I wasn't involved with. I have myself tried to introduce parties and who could help Mr. Chancery, and there's been many professionals in the city that have tried to do the same over the past 5 or 6 months. The reason I think it's not sold is unrealistic expectations from the owner, being difficult to deal with. It's difficult to sell something if you won't tell people what the price is. So I think it's fair to say that in terms of somebody that is selling a business, he has not behaved like someone that has wanted to sell it. Why it's got into administration? It's got into administration because he ran out of cash, and eventually we got to a point where creditors were able to force his hand. So we were at the point where HMRC were threatening to issue a winding up petition. People in the background have pulled off miracles to hold HMRC at bay until we could get this over the line. There's MPs that have even pulled in favours. So it's been an incredible effort by so many people to get to this stage. There was obviously the lender as well. So the lender that was up for renewal on the 30th of September. The lender effectively gave them a further 30 days, but that was coming to an end as well. So yeah, it had reached the point where he could just not function. The club couldn't function anymore with no more money because it was going to have a winding up petition issued against it.
Yeah, Chris, I mean, these obviously protests. There was a big protest on Wednesday. There was hardly anyone there against Middlesbrough. I know yourself. You're a Sheffield Wednesday fan, season ticket holder, and things.
Yeah.
I mean, the protests have caused a lot of division amongst the fan base, and have the protests actually worked in defunding Chancery and getting us to this point? Can you say that from what you know?
Yeah. So I don't think the protests have caused this, but what they've done is accelerated it.
Yeah.
So the effectively by not spending any food and drink in the ground, by not buying any tickets, he probably would have been about circa £200,000 a game better off.
Yeah.
So what this has done is brought it to a head probably a month or so quicker than what it ordinarily would have done.
Yeah, definitely. Matt, have you got any questions you want to pose?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, Chris, just moving forward, what does the day-to-day operations for yourself as an appointed administrator actually look like in terms of, I know we know the big picture of being tasked with finding an owner, but what does the actual day-to-day running of the football club look like from your perspective?
It is pretty close to business as usual. Okay. There's a few changes in that anything that needs to be ordered, so any stocks that we need, any supplies that we need, effectively a purchase order needs to be signed by one of the administrators. Suppliers are going to want that so that they've got some certainty that they're going to get paid before they give the club food, drink, kit, whatever it may be. But pretty much the club should operate as close to normal as possible. So all of the staff are still in place. They've done a fantastic job today. So thank you to all them. We even had staff that came in on the day off to work in the club shop when they realised it was suddenly going to be busy. So yeah, we've got to sell the club. We've got to run the club. But in terms of running of the club, the fans shouldn't notice a massive difference other than now. Hopefully, we'll have 30,000 there every week and a feel-good atmosphere in the ground compared to what it's felt like this season so far.
Yeah, definitely. Kieron, I just want to come to you a second. Obviously, you see this situation with a lot of football clubs, maybe not going into administration, but certainly from a football finance perspective. Are you shocked at how quick this has happened? Because it has suddenly just accelerated from almost seemingly nothing to this in quite a short space of time.
Not necessarily. Sheffield Wednesday would have received their first payment from the EFL during the summer, which is a slightly bigger one. Then they're getting monthly payments on the drip. That was never going to be enough to pay the wages. So as Chris rightly said, we were going to reach an intersection point where there was no money to pay an awful lot of people. And therefore there would have been administration, I think, fairly inevitable. I think those Wednesday fans that have gone down the not a penny more route, and I understand it's divisive because you all love the club. They've made big sacrifices and they have helped to, as Chris has rightly said, to accelerate the position. And I think that's actually to the benefit of the club. This is the least worst option because some of the alternatives were completely unpalatable had a winding up order been imposed.
Yeah, definitely. Chris, I mean, obviously moving forward, your job is now to you and the other two to find a new buyer, a new owner of Sheffield Wednesday. Am I right in saying that that the previous owner, again, I'm not going to say his name, he actually has the overall say in who the new owners are going to be, or is that not right? Is that not correct?
No, that's not right. So I think there was certainly a fear that he would have had a lot of control if he hadn't have been put in a position where he had little option but to put Sheffield 3 Limited into administration as well. But because he's had to put Sheffield 3 Limited into administration as well, he's now got very little control. So he is the major creditor of the football club. So that does give him certain rights in terms of voting on administrator fees and things like that. But in terms of deciding who the club is sold to, that will be a decision that's made by the administrators, not by him.
And is that just simply the highest bidder, or is there other factors that go into that? Do you kind of look into more detail?
Yes, there is other factors. So the first question that we've got to ask of any potential bidder is, will they pass the EFL fit and proper test? If they will not pass the EFL fit and proper test, then there's not really much point in going any further. Secondly, we do have to satisfy ourselves that the new owner will be able to make the company viable. So they've got to be able to show that they will be able to make the company viable, the football club viable for the next few years. Beyond that, our duties do mean that we effectively have to take the best offer. So as frustrating as it might be to fans, there's no point me not being transparent with them. If we've got Elon Musk comes forward and he doesn't put forward as good an offer as somebody else, then as long as that person is going to pass the fit and proper test and they can show that the club would be viable under their stewardship, then we would sell it to them rather than the richest man in the world.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, as well, obviously the response from the fans has been quite remarkable. You know, I literally within minutes of it being announced, the people were in the club shop buying shirts and things, and I think there've been huge queues inside, and I'm sure tomorrow will be, you know, one of the busiest days it's had in quite a while as well. You know, I couldn't get down there today. I'm certainly not going to go before kickoff. I think it's going to be too busy for myself. But everyone else is going to pile in. I'm sure they are. Are you surprised at how the response from the fans, or I mean, you're a Wednesday fan anyway. I'm sure you already know how batshit crazy we are.
Yeah, so I've got to be honest. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I expected it, but all the same, when it does happen, it's very pleasing. And you know, there's been a lot of people that have been emotional, so it's nice to see. But
I'm not gonna lie, Chris, I did get a little bit emotional this afternoon. I was driving home from work at lunchtime, and I was thinking about it, and I was just like, I genuinely didn't think this day. Well, obviously this day was going to come, but I didn't know when it was going to be. You know, my fear was that it was going to be another 12 months of this pain, and it is pain as well. You know, but for it to have happened, I'm going to admit I did get a little bit emotional as well.
Yeah, I think loads of people have. So it's fantastic. But obviously we've got a job to do now, and what we need to do is, well, first of all, make sure that we can fulfil the fixtures, pay everyone's wages, etc. But secondly, we've got to try and find a good buyer. Yeah,
definitely. Matt, have you got any more questions? Because I know
I was just
it's been an incredibly busy day for him. I think he needs to.
Yeah, no, of course. I just wanted to say, I know, Chris, you won't have been able to see everything that's going off in the chat in regards to the comments. I would just like to pass on the well wishes of every single Sheffield Wednesday fan who has been in the chat, passing comments today, the social media reaction to somebody like yourself giving. There was a comment that came in earlier, apologies to who it was. It said, in the last 10 hours, we have had more transparency than the last 10 years. So thank you so much for all of your hard work today, and I wish you all the best of luck moving forward.
Thank you. And it is important to me. I do get the Sheffield Wednesday supporter base, so the one thing that I will try and do, I can't obviously tell everybody everything because there's certain things that are going to have to remain confidential, but I will not effectively get myself into a position where we're telling them stuff that's not true. So I won't give them any false expectations, and we'll be as open and transparent with them as we possibly can.
Chris, will you be there tomorrow for Oxford game?
Believe it or not,
Oh no, he's not.
I've got a weird situation where I knew that I've been expecting to get the appointment for the last 2 weeks. I thought we were going to get it 2 weeks ago. And I
He's booked
said to
Centre
my
Parks,
wife,
everyone. He's got Centre Parks this weekend, and that's where he's going.
If it was Centre Parks, I wouldn't be going. But yeah, we're actually flying to Tenerife for 7 days tomorrow. And my wife has basically said to me, she said to me about a week ago, do not think you are flying out on this holiday late or flying back home early. So I've still got interviews while I'm out there. I'm doing a Radio 5 interview at 5:50 a.m. on Monday morning, and I'll still be doing the emails and stuff. But we've got a great team. There's 2 other administrators. There was 12 of our staff there today. So even though I won't be there tomorrow, I will be eagerly looking at what the crowd is, looking at social media as to how the atmosphere was. And I will be back for the Norwich game.
Matt, I'll just edit that bit out and just say that you were coming. All right, it's fine.
Yeah, I know, Chris, you've got a lot of people asking for your ticket tomorrow anyway, if it helps. So.
Chris, I'll let you jump off. I know you've got a lot to do, but massive thanks for coming on and speaking to us. And I just kind of echo what Matt said there. And we'll fingers crossed we get this all sorted as soon as we possibly can. But Chris, thanks for coming on.
Okay, no problems. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the match tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. Cheers, Chris. Right, so
Kieran, I've got a burning question to ask you, Kieran. I've been dying to ask you this for the past 3 podcasts that we've been recording. Okay. As a Sheffield Wednesday fan, what should we be looking for from a good owner?
I think an owner who has a strategy, an owner who isn't necessarily going to come in and promise to go and spend every penny that they've got. I'm aware that Mike Ashley's name has been in the equation. Newcastle United fans hate Mike Ashley, but Mike Ashley ran Newcastle United as a sustainable football club. And it was in a better financial state when he left it than when he arrived. You can't say that of Dejan Chansiri. So he wouldn't be the worst. Somebody who I think will be upfront with the fans. Yeah, I think that's the minimum you should be asking for. And somebody that's prepared to come to a fans forum, and even if they say the things that you don't want to hear, that this year's budget is going to be X and you thought it was going to be 2X, at least they're being honest. Football clubs are losing money. Football clubs in the Championship, in particular, are losing money. So it is a really tough gig, and somebody just says it straight. I know Andy Holt at Accrington Stanley fairly well, and he says, I'm willing to put in 250 grand a year into the club. You can come and take a look at the books if you want. He's completely transparent. He meets the fans after every single match in the bar and has a chat with them. And if they get narky with him, he gives it back as well. Clearly, Sheffield Wednesday is a much bigger club, and you have to be professional in terms of decorum and so on. But just be honest with people. I think you as Wednesday fans, what's most important, you've got a Sheffield Wednesday. The division that you're in is of secondary, and you will support Sheffield Wednesday. If you lose 8 matches in the row, you'll have a moan, you'll have a grizzle, you'll say the manager should be sacked and the left back's useless, but you've still got that ninth match to attend. So that's the most important thing. I thought Chris was excellent. I'm also on 5 Live at 5:50 on Monday morning, so I do know how he feels. I've done 11 interviews today, even on Irish TV.
Well,
that was very bizarre.
Kieran, we are massive, so that we get everywhere. That's
When you made Radio 4, guys,
Yeah, exactly.
You're part of the establishment.
I did have one more question for you, Kieran. Would you mind just telling people who are watching or listening to this who your football club is?
I support Brighton and Hove Albion.
Can I please ask, why is Brighton and Hove Albion so well run? Because it is often used as a model alongside Brentford and other clubs that start with a B. Could I please ask why it is that Brighton is so well run, and what lessons can be learned from wider footballing experience surrounding what's happened to your club? Because your club, I mean this very nicely, Kieran, your club were in a far worse state than Sheffield Wednesday were.
Well, we were 32 minutes from oblivion in 1997, and I was there. at the time at Hereford when we thought we'd lost it all. I think we do have an owner who is upfront and honest. He has a long-term strategy. So when he bought the club, he said the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move to a new stadium. We all thought it was a 19,000, 20,000 capacity stadium, but he'd thought ahead. He'd actually built, which we didn't realise, an additional shelf, which took the capacity up to 30,000, which they built within a year. You set a budget and you stick to it. And if you don't do very well, tough. You just have a bad season. There's no panic measures. You get a chief executive who applies the plans of the owner. So you set a culture. They've got a no dickheads culture at the club. That applies to the boardroom. That applies to management. We've let a couple of players go in the last few months who were good players, but they failed that particular order, and I can't go into reasons why. I think one famously, first of all, got a red card, and then tried to pick a fight with a 6'4" Dutchman, which really isn't a very sensible thing to do.
It's not.
So they have fans forums. We're playing at Forest in 3 weeks. The chief executive, an hour before the match kicks off, we're meeting the chief executive in the pub. And that's open to all the fans. You can actually buy tickets, and that builds up trust, because what are you asking for from an owner? It's exactly the same as if somebody wanted to marry my daughter. Do I like you? Do I trust you? Can you do the job? Because outside of your family, Sheffield Wednesday Football Club is the most important thing. And I'm not being melodramatic, because you said, James, and you said, Matt, it's been a very emotional day, and I absolutely get that. Nothing will make you cry. Nothing will make you hug a stranger more than Sheffield Wednesday scoring a goal tomorrow. The guy sitting behind you, the guy sitting in front, you might never met them before. If you score, if you win, I guarantee you'll be hugging them and you'll be crying and you'll be cheering together. And that brings you together in no other way, because that's how important Sheffield Wednesday is to you. And I absolutely understand it. So having an owner that understands that, and I think Brighton, we don't really like being teacher's pet anymore, because everybody says the same thing. But the owner is a fan, and the owner is upfront with us. He says, well, if I was a fan, this is how I think. If I was a fan, these are the questions that I'd want to ask. And what they do is that they answer the questions before we tend to ask them.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, Kieron, I was just going to say, because that is the interesting thing, is you have gone from almost the exact example of what not to be as a football club to this shining bastion where I'm pleased you were saying where yourselves as Brighton fans are kind of getting a bit sick of it, because it's almost like you're the teacher and everybody else is like, oh, look at me, are we running it as well? The last question I suppose I have for you, Kieron, because I know it's a Friday night and I know you've got places to be, is if you were to come into Sheffield Wednesday tomorrow, you were appointed as the new owner of Sheffield Wednesday, what is the off-field structure you as an individual would be looking to implement to create a sound financial footing going forward?
Well, first of all, I get a board of directors who have experience in football. Football is like no other industry, and it is littered with people who have been successful, or people have perhaps inherited a lot of money from their dad, but are completely incompetent, and they then run the football club in a very poor manner. So I would do some research. I would recruit a chief executive who has experience of the football industry. I would get a finance director who knows how to put together a budget and a cash flow. I get a director of football who's, again, been round the block, has got the appropriate qualifications. And what we then do is that we decide this is how Sheffield Wednesday is going to play football. This is going to be our culture, because what we don't want is if we have a good season and the manager goes, the last thing you want is a new manager coming in and with a completely different philosophy. So you set, this is the Sheffield Wednesday way, and then you build towards that. And that's what Brighton did. They got managers like Poyet and Potter and Chris Hughton when we needed a practical manager. They did it by the book, and that's how the progress was made. And sometimes it can be a bit boring, but the pluses, I can assure you, far outweigh the minuses.
Just on that, before we do let you go, Kieran, when you talk about like the structure and stuff, do you see a pattern emerging when you look at all the other football clubs? You know, when you're looking at Premier League and downwards, like, is there a pattern? Do they kind of have the similar sorts of people? I'm sure they're not all going to be exactly the same, but we had just one man, and then that was it. You know, whereas, like I said, others, I'm sure they have all these different people in those positions.
Yeah, I mean, if you take a look at Brentford, and I know, I mean, Brentford are so progressive, is that when the day before they announce their accounts, they call me in and we just have a chat about them as adults, as professionals. And then the following day, I'll put them out on social media and I'll hold them to account. I don't give anybody an easy ride. And the reason why they do that is that they say they want me to challenge them as an outsider. So, you know, and it's having the confidence in their ability. And you listen to everybody, and I think they're a superbly run club because everybody is rowing in the same direction. There's no factions. There's nobody stabbing each other in the back trying to get a promotion or trying to get this, that, and the other. And that's what you do. Because if everybody's rowing on the direction at that level, it makes it that much easier for you guys as fans to have that greater belief, which means that you produce that greater noise, which gives you that extra 0.1%, which can mean the difference between a 2-1 defeat and a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, definitely. Kieran, thanks for coming on. Really, really do appreciate it. I'm sure it's not over yet. Obviously, it's still. I think you heard him saying 6 to 8 weeks, or maybe a little bit longer until we kind of find, you know, a preferred buyer and things like that. But so I'm sure you might have a few more appearances on here before it's all done. But I do want to say, Kieran, as well, thanks for coming on. You know, the time that you've taken to speak to us. I know nothing when it comes to football finance, so I'm forever grateful for someone like you to explain it in layman's terms to us all.
It's been a pleasure, but I'm sorry that I've had to, you know, I'd say I'm the Grim Reaper. I just want to say one thing about the EFL. I know the EFL aren't popular with a large section of the fan base. I can assure you, because I've got contacts there, that they have been putting as much pressure as they can do legally on Chansiri. But if somebody's not picking up the phone, if somebody's not answering emails, and if somebody just talks a load of, excuse my language, shite, when you do talk to him, there's only so much that they can do, but they have put as much pressure as they can. And, you know, I think they deserve perhaps a little less criticism. Sometimes they deserve criticism, as we all do, but they want Sheffield Wednesday to survive and thrive just as much as we all do.
Great stuff. Kieran, massive thanks for coming on. Again, really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm sure we'll be speaking to you at some point in the near future, but enjoy your evening, Kieran.
All the best, guys.
Thanks.
Good luck tomorrow. All the best. Bye-bye.
Yeah, cheers. There we go. That was Kieran. We had Chris on earlier as well. Matt, I've got the Budweisers out, mate.
James, can I also we've gone for really serious here. Can I just highlight this one from Steve Beattie Smith? Seamless that, James, when you darted off camera.
I said I'd do a Twitter Spaces, and I thought, fuck, I've sat down, and it's over there charging because, but yeah, I had to get one, mate. I've got the Budweisers. I am going to crack open the Bud, and I am going to have a drink of this because, my God, what a whirlwind of a day it's been. I mean, whilst I do that, Matt, how you feeling, mate? How you feeling?
It's unusual, isn't it? Because administration for any other football club, and if you're on social media, you've seen a couple of football clubs going, oh, fuck them, I'm so grateful they've gone into administration, without actually realising that administration for this football club is sweet relief from the nightmare that we have had to endure as a fan base, from nightmares that we have had to endure from an ownership. The main people that I am pleased for, first and foremost, are the staff who work at the club, and the fact that there is, in Chris and the other administrators who are there has been assurances and guarantees surrounding their job security. That's the first one, because administrators can come in and just choose to rip up everything. I think we're fortunate in terms of the administrative team that are within there, because there is a genuine love and care for the football club. So that's first and foremost. I'm thrilled for the staff. Secondly, I'm thrilled for the players. The players and the coaching staff have endured an unbelievably difficult time as a professional footballer, and for your players like Liam Palmer, for your Barry Bannons, for your Dominic Iorfas, you know, your players who have been around this for a long time, they have had to endure the same as the rest of us, but they have also had the added pressure of they're the ones who every single fan and supporter looks to provide some sort of hope to everybody. And that is an incredible weight on your shoulders when you are just trying to be a professional footballer. I think
Barry Bannon didn't become captain having to field questions on, am I going to get paid this week or not? Do you know what I mean? Like that's not what it was all about, and he was having to do that, and he could have easily just walked away. Let's not forget as well, he chose to stay. He chose to kind of still be here and things. So yeah, I echo what you've just said there. Like the staff that you hear gone into the shop on the day off today. They were probably worrying that they're not going to get paid in a couple of weeks' time, or in a week's time, next Friday. Now they've got that assurance. It's a weight off the shoulders. I saw a message from someone who works in the shop, and they were saying how it's buzzing. Like everyone's buzzing. Like all the staff are just happy. I'm sure there was a massive weight over them all the time. Whereas now everyone's smiling. I mean, there was a picture. I think it was Alex Miller that shared it. I don't know if you saw it, Matt. It's kind of behind the till.
The till. Yeah.
And you see the guy in the bottom left. It looks like he's in a wheelchair, and the beaming smile on his face as well. Like, probably someone who's chosen not to buy a shirt, to probably has their every single shirt going for however many years, and they've chosen not to this time, and then today they've gone in. I mean, I can't believe it. Like literally minutes after the announcement came, people are filling the shop. There was a lady on Sky Sports News that got interviewed. She bought 5 shirts. Do you know what I mean? That's like that money's been burning a hole in everyone's pocket, and just people just can't wait to get back. And like I said last time I looked, 5,000 tickets left for tomorrow's game. I'm sure come kick-off, it's going to be a sellout. And the atmosphere tomorrow is going to be, well, I think I will probably shed a tear, to be fair.
Yeah, I think we haven't even got into, there's been this call to arms from the trust and from a number of voices, including the administrative team, about pumping money into the football club. 7 days ago, James, if me and you would have been sat on this podcast doing an emergency pod talking about this, we'd have been talking about early bird season tickets and memberships and all the rest of it and going, there's not a fucking chance anybody signing up for it. If they put them out tomorrow at 5 o'clock inside of... and gave everybody a week to renew at the current prices, every single person would have renewed, and there would be a lot more people who would be signing up for it, knowing we're heading for a campaign in League One, knowing that there is a high likelihood that there's going to be massive squad turnover without the ownership. It just goes to show how, again, I've been very critical, and we have, and a number of people, and probably every individual when you go to a match has been very critical about how divided the fan base has been. Wednesday night was a really poignant moment in terms of just the sheer impact of... I know the official attendance was announced at just shy of 22,000. There was 7,000 fans in the ground, more Middlesbrough than Wednesday fans. And that is a huge testament to everybody who is a Sheffield Wednesday fan in whatever way, shape or form. You have also played your part with getting this owner removed.
And you know what?
It's football club.
It's great that his last game, there was nobody there. Do you know what I mean? And then now, and then the next game, his name has been removed. I mean, that is another fair play to all those people that have been taking those seats out. Again, I think that's it's quite symbolic for me, that, because as people know, I do sit on one of those white seats. My season ticket is on one of those white seats on the north stand. When I go tomorrow, my seat will be blue, and I think that is just that in itself is quite poignant, I think, for me. And I can't just is it 3 o'clock yet on Saturday? Like, it's amazing what, like, literally the worst news a football club can other than going bust. This is probably the second worst bit of news that you can get, and yet we are, as a fan base, buzzing. I had a text from a United fan earlier saying, like, sorry to hear that administrator, and it had been genuine, and I was like, don't be sorry, mate, I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm buzzing for it. I don't get 12 points, like I said, at the top, 12, 40 points, whatever. Give us any points deduction. I do not really care. Genuinely, we were down this season anyway. I know Henrik's putting a brave face on, and he always does that and stuff. But come on, we are threadbare. I mean, look, we might have a bit of a slim chance, maybe, if we can bring some people in January. But let's just think League One next season, and let's see what we could do. Yeah, Josh has just put 35 games left to get the 45. It means we'd need 17 wins. We will go through some of the comments. I know they are tons and tons and tons of comments. We will try and get through to them at the moment. I just wanted to, and there's also people over on X Spaces as well, where you can come up and speak. But I just wanted to talk to you, Matt, now before, because we have been. It's been. I said it to Chris. I didn't think there was an end. I don't know if you ever felt like that, Matt. I know there was going to be an end at some point. I know you were kind of saying Christmas and stuff like that, but for me personally, my worry was that he was going to struggle on, and people were going to buy season tickets when they come out. And just on that, by the way, you mentioned season tickets. I did hear Chris say on Radio Sheffield, someone asked about half-season tickets. What they said was, they're on about doing some kind of ticket packages, but they want the new owner to be able to actually get the money for season tickets and stuff. Yeah. So kind of next season tickets won't be on sale until the new owner comes in, and he was like, obviously if it gets to a point where half season tickets, it will no longer be half the season, then obviously maybe they might look at it, but they're trying to hold off as long as they can for until the new owners come in, so they can benefit from that kind of money and stuff, which I think is it's really. You see administrators, or you hear about them as being like the really bad people. I mean, they still might be, but the way that the three of them have come across, and I've heard all of them speak today, it doesn't sound like that, does it at all? It sounds like they are, like someone's mentioned in the comments. We've had more news come out of the club in the last 14 hours, 15 hours than we've had forever, it seems.
I think the difference between the previous regime and this administrative care effectively that we're under, because it's not an ownership, is it? It's a care and a trust. Is, and Chris said it himself, we're just going to be honest. You might not like some of it. I know there'll be things that come out which, as a Wednesday fan, we don't like. And that they are just an inevitability of being placed into administration. But I can deal with honesty, and I can deal with realism, and I can deal with just blunt, cold facts as a Wednesday fan. I might not like them, but I can certainly deal with them. The other thing that we've said, James, with this happening where it is now, season's in October. Call a spade, season's done, pretty much, from our perspective. Nobody is expecting us to say up. We pulled off a miracle the last time we were in this position, but we're actually, 7 points worse off than where we were? 8 points worse off than where we were. So it's going to take some tall order to get us to safety this season. I think everybody's aware of that. That being said, a new ownership and an administrator actually have 8 months of clear runway to set this club up to be the best that it can be, to do all of the things that as Sheffield Wednesday fans we have been asking for. And I'm not talking about build us a new fucking stadium, bring back this, do this. I'm talking about actually just to put a plan in place fundamentally off the pitch that leads to success on the pitch. You've got 8 months of clear runway and nobody's going to bat an eyelid if the results don't improve.
Yeah, and you know what as well? There'll be a long list of quick wins and easy wins that the new owners can have. We've been speaking about that for many a week, month, and year, or whatever it's felt like. All the different things that they can do, and I'm trying not to get too ahead of myself, Matt. You can really get.
Do you want a dose of reality, James? I was going to say, I can give you a dose of reality. It's a positive day. It's the most positive day that we've had in the last 8 years of this ownership. But there is a long old way to go before we can actually fully settle into a new ownership regime and know what we're going to get. So, enjoy the day, enjoy the weekend, enjoy being able to go back to the club and back to the games with your family, with your loved ones, with your friends. If you have stayed away and absconded over the past year, this year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is, enjoy being a Wednesday fan again, because inside of the next 6 months. There will be new ownership here with new ideas and fresh incentives ready to attack a new season in August with a complete different sea change to what we've experienced for the last 10 years.
Yeah, and do you know what as well? Again, from a personal point of view, I'm glad it's happened now, because this past kind of week or two, with the whole away boycott, and then we've also got the United game coming up in 4 weeks' time, I think it is. That I was dreading it personally. I was dreading it. I was dreading the next away game. Is it West Brom? I think it is.
I'm thrilled. It's 20 minutes away.
Well, yeah, but the announcement that comes out that says that the tickets have sold out again, and then it would be a massive pile-on and all stuff like that. And then again, the United game, there'll be a lot of people calling for that to it being boycotted as well. I am absolutely delighted that people can just go to the away games as they have been doing, absolutely fine. And also, we can pack out Hillsborough when them lot come down the road, because they are going to be so fucking pissed off. Honestly,
of course.
They were loving it. They were loving it that we're in the situation that we're in. And, and heading to that game, they'd have been... it probably wouldn't have sold out, even if there was still being some, quite a few people there, and they would have milked that for what it's worth. And now, I really hope as well we don't give them the top and the bottom. Just give them as few tickets as they possibly can, and that is just going to, win, lose or draw, whatever. But in terms of an atmosphere, I think that again, I'm just so glad that we can actually. It's a game that Matt. I love the Steel City Derby. I know some people don't. I live for that game, and I'm just delighted that I can just not have to have that. Am I not going to that one? If you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, James, I sit on the opposite side of the fence. I absolutely detest the game. I think it's horrible. I think the week in the build up to it is absolutely rank. And I don't live in the city, so I dread to think what it'd be like if I lived there. But again, I agree with you entirely. I would be giving them the minimum amount of tickets possible and packing it full of Wednesday, because in the last 10 years when we have played that side, we have never done that. We have always bitten their hand off for all the money that we can take from them. I hope we give them absolutely nothing this year, the bare minimum, exactly what we experience at Bramall Lane. And it should just be that moving forward from now on. If there is a demand for home tickets, which I am assuming there will be now, there's a demand for home tickets. Home fans come first, not away.
Yeah, 100%. Right. We are over on X Spaces as well. I do want people to come up. So I'm going to come to, I think it was G first, and then I've got JF, and then we've got Harry as well. I'm just going to, G, whilst you get yourself ready, I'm just going to read out some comments. Matt, feel free to star some, because there is so many, and I will any that are decent. Let's have a look. Got Paul that says the time is now to turn up and financially, as well as emotionally, support the wonderful staff in its entirety with our hard-earned money while the sale of the club is worked on. Daz says, what a glorious day it has been. The dictator has been dethroned, and we have our club back. See you all tomorrow. I'll be in the Crown for pre-match beers. Natalie says Hillsborough is now a tuna-free zone. Liam just says goodbye, Dapon Chansiri. Jordan says, I can't explain how happy I am. Get the Budweisers out. They are out, Jordan. They are out. Don't you worry about that. Daniel, what a historical day in our lives. Finally got our club back. Alex says, let's sell out the match tomorrow. Now, Matt, have you found any?
Yeah, I've starred them, James. I've put a couple in here. So, from Simon Temple, I haven't been since Darren Moore was sacked. He's there tomorrow. One from Josh. I'm in bother with the missus now, as I've just told her I'm not going shopping and I'm going to the game. This is a key day in our club's history and I simply just can't miss it. And then one from Jack, which is about the I think this was said on Radio Sheffield today about how much was spent in the club shop. I want to say it was Chris, but I don't want to misquote him. £75,000 was spent on merchandise in the club shop tomorrow. I would be amazed if there isn't a 1 in front of that by the close of play tomorrow after the game.
Yeah, it is incredible, that, and I don't know if that's just merch or if that's tickets or whatnot, because
I'd assume everything. Yeah, I'd assume everything, because that's a monstrous sum of money.
Well, I like I said, I couldn't have time to get down there this afternoon. but and again tomorrow, probably not going to have time to get down to buy the shirts and stuff. It's my lad's birthday in November. I'm delighted that I'm going to be able to get him all the shirts, and I will be buying all the shirts as well.
James, I said to my lad just before he went to bed, I said, I can buy you a Wednesday shirt now, and he went, oh great. I said, you can pick one of three. Guess what fucking one he picked?
He's picked the purple one.
Correct.
Why did you give him the option? Why did you give him the option?
I thought, do you know what? It'll be all right to him. It'll be great. He'll have fun. Blah blah blah. And he was like, that one. I was like, are you sure? Yeah, that one. All right.
Well, I said to me, my old man earlier. I rang him and I said, "Dad, you coming to the match tomorrow?" He said, "Oh, let me just ask your mother." I'm like, "Well, I've bought you a ticket, whether you want to come or not." I was just like, I've bought a ticket. That's it. It's there. I just wanted to, to do my bit. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he'll be going. I mean, I'm not really bothered about the result tomorrow, but he is a bit of a bad omen, to be honest. So we'll see what happens with that. Do keep all your comments coming in, of course. Let's come to G then, if we can. G, how's things, mate? You all right?
Oh, you just woke me up.
Woke you up? You should be absolutely buzzing, mate. It's
I'm buzzing. Yeah,
best news that we could have had, for a long time.
Oh, that tyrant SOB, thank God, goodbye, see you later, puke yourself off to China or wherever you're at.
Yeah, well, he's still over there, isn't he? He's in Thailand. I don't think he's ever come out. But yeah, I mean, what was your reaction, G? Because obviously going into administration isn't normally a thing to be celebrated. But what was your reaction at lunchtime today?
Oh, honestly, I couldn't think. Honestly, like literally, it felt like we just won something, and literally just out of the blue. Honestly, I mean, obviously, it got talked about day before, late last night, where there were talks of it going into administration, and turned out it was true after all.
Yeah, one thing I want to say as well is let's not get all the receipts out and stuff and say I told you so. Let's just park all that in the past. Let's just move on. It is what it is. We can't do about that anymore. We can only do about things in the future. Gee, you were still going to the games, weren't you, or had you stopped going? I can't remember what you said now.
I stopped going while he was in charge, and unfortunately, sadly, I'm not going to be able to make it for Oxford games, so I'm going to go to Norwich.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there were lots of people getting the tickets for those games and things like that. I mean, is it just a relief, G, that you've you said it before, you've got the club back? Is that how it feels?
Oh, listen, right. I don't think there's ever been more relieved fan base than Wednesday, because no disrespect to Reading, right, but I couldn't think of a more relieved time than this right here, because honestly, it's just like, it's like 20, what was it, 10 all over again? Yeah, it were. And honestly, we were on the brink of going into the abyss that year. So Mandrich came along, and God rest his soul, wish you could see it. And it just feels like 2010 all over again.
Yeah, it does feel like we're certainly on the way up anyway. G, massive thanks, pal. You've got loads of people that want to come up and speak, so we'll try and get through more. Yeah, of course we are, G. Thank you very much. Let's come to JF next. How's it going, mate? You all right? Do you want us to unmute yourself? Is he there? Harry, let's come to you whilst he's sorting himself out. Harry, mate, you all right?
Yeah, good evening, boys.
Evening. How's things? You all right?
Yeah, all good. We've been waiting for this day for a long time, haven't we?
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah, you both know me a bit now, and I've been banging that drum for a long time. It's a weird feeling, isn't it? It's when you're kind of waiting on some potential bad news in your life, and you finally get some good news, you just feel knackered, don't you?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that mental exhaustion. You just want to lie down and take it all in and relax and enjoy the moment. But it's a weird one. There's so many people that I'm really, really happy for tonight. And I've said in the last few weeks, especially talking to members of the trust and the board and stuff, a lot of the protest groups and stuff like that. And some of these guys have literally slept and breathed it and bled it for these last few weeks and months, and the efforts they put in, like they can't go unnoticed. Like they've really stood up and been counted, and I'm absolutely delighted that all their hard work in the end has paid off. They really deserve it. We all know what Shansiri was like in the end as a character. The fact, the responses of the staff, the responses of the playing staff as well have kind of showed that to a strong degree as well today. We've met him and spoke to him at times. The best way to describe him is probably he's a bully. He's never really liked our fans, our fan base. He's looked down his nose at us. He's always thought he's better than us people. He's never made the effort to get to know and get involved in the local community. And the best way to deal with a bully is to stand up to them in the end. And that's what our fan base has done these last few weeks, last few months. It took a while for us all to come together, but the last few weeks, the spirit has been fantastic, and it kind of was symbolised by that boycott on Wednesday night. And I think you both said earlier that his legacy will be that lowest attendance in history. I think it probably will be.
Yeah, I think it's near there, isn't it? I mean, just on the stadium, Harry, obviously, we didn't really ask Chris, but we heard it before. Sheffield 3 have gone into administration as well. I think he did actually say it, actually, which means that they can sell the club and the stadium as a package now. And that's a massive relief in it, that, Harry, because that was one of the things that people were a bit worried about, that he could still hold on to the stadium and he could then charge us ridiculous rent and still have an influence over us, but that's gone now.
Yeah, there was always that slight concern, wasn't there, that he would have some potential control or potential interest. And it's been quite clear from the communications from Chris on Football Heaven and also directly on the club website how important the stadium being involved was. And obviously there's concern and uncertainty that comes with this kind of process, but hearing Chris speak with his statements and his direct discussion on Football Heaven, it gives me full confidence that these are the best guys for the job. They've got our club at heart and our future interest at heart, and it gives us all real positive hope for the future now that they are going to work really hard to find the best new owners for the club. They've already spoken about the importance of a footballing structure, getting the right people in, having a long-term plan. You know, all these basic things that we've been going on about for the last 8 or 9 years that unfortunately the one person that needed to understand them never actually grasped. But we know we'll be in League One next year, but after 8 or 9 years, we're going to hopefully finally have new owners and have that new plan and some hope to hang on to. And obviously we've already got these extra tickets sold for tomorrow, which is great. It's fantastic seeing people come back to the club. There'll be lots of people taking their kids for their first game tomorrow. And I've no doubt that when season tickets go on sale for next season, we will get record sales. I think it could be a really special season next season at Hillsborough.
Yeah, in a weird way, Harry, it's almost like this could be what kind of like the rebound could be quite big as well, which is something that could be quite interesting as well. Harry, what's your overriding emotion being this afternoon?
I suppose it's that sense of relief, really, almost, and just happiness for a lot of people that have done a lot of hard work. And it's also that sense that in the not too distant future, we might actually be able to move away from this and discuss actual football and go to games of football to see the football and concentrate on that and talk about tactics and talk about signings and all those little things that we've kind of lost in the last few months and last few years, really. It's Sheffield Wednesday hasn't been about football on the pitch for the last few years, has it? It's been about everything in the background.
Yeah.
And we can actually hopefully move forward and support those 11 lads on the pitch and focus on actual footballing things rather than constant off-the-field stress and off-the-field uncertainty. And I'm just pleased because there's so many people's mental health and kind of daily life being impacted by this. Like, you've got people that missed a home game for the first time in years and decades on Wednesday. Like, they're the kind of people I'm absolutely buzzing for moving forwards.
Yeah, what's it been like for you personally as well? Because I know is it your nephew that's been obviously quite instrumental with selling the scarves and things outside the cop and stuff like that. You've all kind of mucked in, haven't you, in all of this and kind of helping out with the trust and things.
Yeah, I said on Football Heaven last week, I think it was, that when I stopped going in around 2000, 2001, I got to that point where I didn't want to give Chansiri any more of my money. I was sick of it, but I very much felt I was in the minority then. And I would discuss my concerns about the owner on social media, etc. And I got quite a lot of backlash for that. And it kind of meant I kind of lost that connection with the club, but I also lost the connection with the fan base. But these last couple of years, and particularly these last few weeks and months, being involved with the trust has really ignited that spark and my connection with the club again, which I had lost. Obviously, seeing my young nephew go to games now is special, and taking my young lad for his first season is special as well.
How old are they yet, Harry?
The nephew's 10 years old, but he lives and breathes Sheffield Wednesday Football Club.
He's got a great selection of Wednesday shirts already. I've seen some of the photos.
He has, yeah. He's a lucky lad. I don't think he knows yet, but I've actually got 2 or 3 more classic ones today that are age 10 to 11, so he's got a couple more coming his way soon. But just going back to small things like selling scarves for an hour on a Saturday afternoon, like the number of people that like we've met and just kind of spoken to and had like nice conversations with, it's been really kind of heartwarming, and like it's really made you realise that we've got such a good, spirited and decent, hard-working set of people in our fan base. Like, they're the people I'm happy for. Like, so many people you talk to selling scarves, and their weekend is Sheffield Wednesday Football Club. Some of them come from the South Coast, from London, from Scotland, from Wales, for every single home game.
We even have some that come as far as Birmingham as well, Harry.
I know, there's nothing really, is it, compared to some? Like.
No, definitely. Harry, massive thanks for coming on, pal. Yeah, really do appreciate it. I would love to talk to you for longer. Just got other people that are waiting, of course. But yeah, Harry, thanks for coming on, pal, and enjoy Hillsborough tomorrow, mate.
Take care, boys.
Yeah, great stuff. Matt, like as well, you're talking about like the scarves and stuff. JF, I will come to you in a second, mate. Like the work that the trust has done as well. I think obviously we've been kind of abreast some of the stuff that they've been doing behind the scenes, which perhaps other people haven't seen, and it's been almost like a full-time job for most of them. I just want to bring this up here as well from Seek Free Discount My Last Chat. Love you guys. Thank you. Thank you very much for that one. But yeah, the work that they've been doing has been tireless, haven't it?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think when all of this is done and we can finally put that chapter to bed in terms of when a preferred bidder is selected and they go through the due diligence process and we all know that it's about to be signed, sealed and delivered, I think that's really when you can start handing out your thank yous to everybody, because there are so many people that I think we as a fan base owe a debt. I know I only speak for myself here, James, not as a fan base, sorry. I only speak for myself here. I, as an individual, owe a debt of gratitude to for the amount of time, effort that they have put into saving the football club and trying to wrestle control back off this owner. I think for many and some of the individuals that you'd speak to, and I'd hope that they would come on and talk about the real world impact that this ownership has had on them. It's not just a second job, it becomes your life and it takes over your life. Like every single waking second, everything else becomes secondary almost, and there will have been people who have had to prioritise stuff to do with the football club over their family. They shouldn't have done, but they have. They've prioritised it in front of friendships. They will have prioritised it in front of other significant relationships in their life, because that is what this football club was asking from them and what they felt that it was their, duty to do so. And it was their duty to step up and do so. And I don't, there are so many people who deserve to be named in that respect. People have been very quick to name and shame people who haven't been engaging in protests, and photos have gone up of, people who were at the game on Wednesday wearing trust scarves or at the game for Leeds and etc. I do genuinely feel that it would be good to hear the stories of what some of those fans have been through, and actually for people to understand the real world impact of what this ownership has done to them as a fan. It is amazing. Like Harry has spoken about it previously. Harry's been at away games selling scarves for the trust. Prior to that, he was involved with the 1867 group in terms of handing out leaflets, where he received, he will be too proud to say this himself, but he received an awful amount of abuse for doing so at a time when the fan base just perhaps wasn't ready for the conversations that were going on. And he's never moaned, complained. He's turned up. I remember bumping into him and having a conversation with him at Leicester this season for the first away game. He was there 2.5 hours before the game.
Yeah.
Talking to people and just chatting with them about like the trust and educating people on why they were doing this and all the rest of it. And think that was fucking August.
Yeah.
That we were actually having to have people from the trust and ourselves were having to have conversations and kind of correct some, some information that was out there. I don't think I will ever get over the speed at which this happened. May to October, the football club fell apart and has been rescued by the creditors who have put us into administration, but also the fans. It's been rescued by, it's a proper effort. And I know people, but I've said it before to you, James, Sheffield being the smallest village on the planet does have its advantages at times, doesn't it?
Of course it does. And it's, I'm just glad for it to go back to being just nice again. And I know we're not fully out of it yet. And I know, but it's just that relief as well. Alex, massive thanks for the super chat. Really do appreciate it. Yeah, thank you very much for that one. Let's come to JF. If he's going to be if he can unmute his microphone this time around. He's there. Look, how are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, amazing. Really. I know it sounds weird. Like I'm smiling ear to ear the fact that we're in administration, but I want to tell a story today of my day of when I woke up and I saw Alan Biggs' tweet saying that Wednesday could possibly go into administration, possibly today, and then we did go into administration. And I bought my brother a pint glass from I don't know his first name, but it's Horton, the other guy who does the designs around the ground.
Alex, yeah.
Alex Horton, yeah. And I bought him a pint glass.
But anyway, it's fine.
Luke, sorry, not Alex.
Go on.
Anyway, I bought him a pint glass, and I thought, because it was his belated birthday that I forgot, sadly. And I went to his suit fitting in Potts Factory, and we hugged each other that much, and we celebrated as though we went to administration, and watching the Chancery name being stricken from the North Stand, and we were celebrating like we celebrated back in when we beat QPR 5-1 when Peter Crouch was up for him.
Yeah, I mean that as well. 100 and something thousand people were watching people just taking seats out and putting new seats in. We are absolutely batshit crazy, aren't we, pal?
Oh yeah, we are. And it's like tomorrow. I mean, unfortunately, I won't be there, and I tried my best to get a ticket, but my wife says we can't afford it, so I will definitely be there for the Steel City Derby, and I will be taking my little
Can you get there tomorrow?
I can get there. I just can't get in around.
All right, I'll message you. I'll pay for your ticket. I'll pay for 2 tickets for you to get there tomorrow.
Are you serious?
Yeah, message me. I will sort out 2 tickets for you to get there tomorrow. All right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll sort it for you. I'll sort you and your wife can get down there to Hillsborough tomorrow, and I'll sort it out for you, mate. All right.
It's not my wife. She's not. She's a Wednesday fan, but she's not a big Wednesday fan.
Well, you and someone else. You get. I'll sort it for you. I'll message mate and I'll sort it for you. And we'll get that. So we'll get you there at Hillsborough tomorrow because it is going to be the atmosphere tomorrow will be immense, won't it?
Yeah, it will. And she'll absolutely love it. Honestly, it would make her day. She'd be watching Wednesday on Sky and stuff with me. Like she stayed up every midweek, every match she's watched through. Like, and she's running around the house singing "I Sheffield Wednesday" all the time.
Yeah, did you think we'd get to this point as well? Because I know I was saying I didn't think we'd get to this point at all. I thought we were going to drag on. I thought, like I said, season tickets were going to get sold. I thought we were going to lose Pierce Charles in January, Bailey Cadamartri, all that sort of stuff. You know, I mean, I know we're not fully out of it yet, and I hope that doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't drag on. But from what Chris was saying, it sounds like there's. He's fairly hopeful. He's talking weeks. Well, all right. Multiple weeks, but it's not in the 6 months or things like. I think Derby took 12 months, but he's certainly optimistic that it'll be a lot sooner than that, which is nice to hear.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're looking at Derby, I mean, the owner. I don't remember Derby's owner at the time, but I remember there was a lot of back and forth with the stadium that prolonged the sale of the club because they wanted all of it as well. But the fact that we've got everything in one package, including the stadium, which means Chancery literally has no leg to stand on anymore, where we can just sell to the highest bidder, which I hope is going to be Texter. But I've got a horrible feeling it might be Mark Ashley. I hope it's not, but
yeah.
Anyone right now. Do
you know what, James? I've not even got to the point of thinking who the next owner is going to be. I literally haven't. That for me, that's for Sunday night. But me and Matt can talk about that on Sunday night. Let's just get past this. The whole emotion thing today. It's been incredible. James, I'm gonna have to move on because I'm gonna got loads of other people that want to come up and speak. Matt's put a super chat in there saying here's towards his tickets. Matt, thank you very much for that. Really do appreciate it. And James, I'll as soon as we finish on here, I've messaged you already. I put so you're at the top of my list, and I will sort that out for you. And I want to get you there tomorrow. Okay. Is James still there? You're there.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
No problem. We'll get you there. Not a problem. Right, well, let's come to
just
Big Artie Show. Yeah, you've got some more.
Sorry, James. I'm just going to highlight Waterbird's contribution here as well. He's put a £30 donation towards the ticket as well for tomorrow. So thank you so much. And again, For Real Gameplay has also put £2 towards it as well. I do just want to highlight. Again, there were so many people in the chat saying this is what the fan base is about. And I'm going to highlight Jordan's comment here. It's just so mint to see us all together. No bickering, no upset, just pure togetherness.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, my goal is over the moon.
Yeah.
Like, if I tell her that, we're going to take it to the ground tomorrow.
No.
She's going to be over the moon.
No probs. I'll sort it for you, mate. Cheers for coming on, pal, as well. Really appreciate everyone coming up. Let's come to Big Artie Show. Yeah, we've got JDS as well. Read it out. Ticket money. Hopefully today's a turning point. Feel like we have our club back. We're all Wednesday, aren't we? Massive thanks again. Thanks for all that one. Big Artie Show. How's it going, mate? You all right?
Good evening, James. What can I say? What can I say? I've been on every other week and things like that, and I've said good evening, another therapy session. Yeah. This is now the rejoicing hour.
Yeah,
it's time for us to finally rejoice at the fact that the lunatic has now left the asylum. It's what can we say? Emotions are high. You can tell with everybody, not just us as Wednesday fans, but the football community. Other football fans have actually have applauded our tenacity, and that's what it is. We've been tenacious in our single goal, and I'll be honest with you. I said it a long time ago. I think it was May time when this crackpot started doing his shenanigans. And I said, the only way we can get him out is if we are unified. And we have thousands of Wednesday fans against one absolute nut job. And today has been the day that we can now all rejoice. And it's, do you know something? That it feels like an exorcism, an absolute exorcism of negativity. And I know it might sound a bit too dramatic, but for God's sake, let's have a bit of drama and let's have a bit of happiness, because we've been having our balls kicked for the last God knows how many years.
We have been through the ringer, haven't we, Artie? Like we haven't. We just like, yeah, you're right. For me, it was just relief that I was just like, thank fuck for that. Like, I just that it's happened, and we can kind of move forward and have a bit of excitement. Do you know what I mean? I think I mean this in the nicest way, but I feel like some of the excitement that we've had over the years has been, it's not been forced, but it's just been a bit, I know it's all relative, but we're getting excited about like small things because that's the only bit of excitement that we've had. I just want to say as well, thanks to Doug for the super chat as well. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much for that one. But yeah, it's been just. We can actually. I feel like we can actually look forward to things, because there was always that in the back of your mind that we still got that nutter owning the football club. Do you know what I mean? You couldn't really fully get behind everything because you were like, I know he's going to fuck it up at some point. And he has done. You look at, Darren Moore. We get that ending to that season. It will never, ever, ever be replicated ever in football history, and he ruined it. We then signed a manager in Danny Earl. All right, he brought him in, and then we've ruined that as well. Like, everything is just being ruined. So you couldn't really fully get behind it all. Whereas now, I feel like it's just like it's almost like a clean slate, Artie.
It is totally a clean slate, because we're not expecting some absolute barking statement to come out and drawing it back to one individual's opinion, like what we've had to endure for God knows how many years. You know, you said the Darren Moore, the miracle at Hillsborough, the extra time, last couple of minutes of extra time at Wembley, and where we were all exhilarated and applauding and on a high. Within weeks, that rug was pulled from under us when that crackpot got rid of Moore and then started belittling him and then started criticising every man and his dog. We haven't got that now. We haven't got that. We've now got someone potentially in the next not too distant future who will probably understand that the highs need to be supported by everybody. And it was really good to listen to the administrator, Chris, the administrator. I listened to it on Radio Sheffield, and it was quite clear that they were in a position to force his hand at some point. And I think there were certain factors this week that have enabled them to say, you've got to get rid of the ground as well, because I think he would have probably said, I'm going to hold on to that until my dying breath.
Yeah, well, I think the other thing as well, Artie, I just want to read this out before I do. Craig, again, another super chat. He says, can we at least pay for restricted view? I need some doom and gloom. This is far too nice. Craig, thanks for that. Yeah, I think the other thing as well, he did reference that I think he's owed 60 million, Depon Chansiri. They are still kind of clarifying that and how that actually works and things, whether he's a secured creditor or not, and everything. I think you probably said to him, like, look, mate, if you hold on to the stadium, you're probably not going to sell the football club, and in which case you'll get none of the money back that you owed. Whereas maybe they said in this instance you actually might get at least something. And you know what? There'll be some people, and I might get ridiculed for this. As long as he's gone, I don't give it a flying fuck. Like, I really don't. I just get him gone. However it may be, and never to be seen ever again, and he'll just go down as a 10 and a half, 11 year period where I can tell the grandkids that I lived through the Chancery years. Like, you know what I mean? I can put it through worse than COVID. Like, I'll tell my grandkids, like, you thought COVID were bad. You've not lived through being a Wednesday fan when Chancery were the chairman. You know,
hold my beer, kids.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. We should really recognise it as the forgettable decade.
Yeah,
because that's what we need to do. We just need to forget about it, and for what they, where we are now, packed out Hillsborough tomorrow. Are you
going to be Artie? Are you going to be there? Are you going to be there tomorrow?
I'll be there. I don't care where I'm sitting. I am there. I'll be there. I'll be there early. I'll be there to support. They were saying a 10 minutes doing applause for a minute. Do you know something? We need to just be cheering for 90 minutes. It should be a carnival event, not, we need to just be there and just enjoy the rapture of looking at Wednesday fans behind us, to the side of us, in front of us, and just nod at each other, knowing that there's no more a nut job in charge of us.
I saw a video of I can't remember what game it was. It's a video from the Cop, and everyone's just singing "We're all Wednesday, aren't we?" And it was loud. Yeah. It was so loud, and I want that to be just ringing out. Let's just sing for the full 90 minutes. Let's just get it going. George has asked, "Are we allowed to make some noise tomorrow, or do the normal library rules still apply?" Matt, do you think there'll be some songs on the South Stand tomorrow?
No, let's not get carried away here, James. Let's not get carried away. I'm still
too busy eating pro sandwiches.
Correct, mate. I'm still expecting normal service to be resumed on the South Stand after hi-ho silver line, and everybody sits down with their hands firmly underneath their legs, and occasionally a smattering of applause breaks out, but no louder, please. I want to hear the rustle of a Werther's on that stand tomorrow.
No, it's going to be good though, isn't it, Artie? Tomorrow, it's just
yeah. It's going to be rocking, and regardless of the result, it's just going to be a day where we can just look at it, as I say, just enjoy the moment. Let's just enjoy that 90 minutes, regardless if we were to win, lose, or draw. We just need to know that we can get to that ground. We can spend our money and we can support the club we have all grown up with for so long. We have got rid of the dictator. Let's just move it forward and let's just enjoy our life as being Wednesday fans. Can we?
Of course we man. Of course we can, mate. Artie, thanks for coming on, pal. Do really appreciate it as always. Got loads of people that have come up, which is great to see. I think it was Aaron James, next, then I'll come to Peter. Yeah, of course.
Just before we dive into those, am I right to just highlight some comments here? Man
of course.
I think I'm going to cry tomorrow when hi-ho rings out. JDS, all we need now is a Michael Smith winner this evening for anybody who's not keeping an eye on the scores. They were 2-0 up. It's now 2-2. It can't get any worse, can it? No, is the firm answer from John Gurnhill. Matt Hyde, emotional day, been some tears. It's relief. Time for us to move forward. Taking my eldest tomorrow, probably more tears. Alex Smith, we won. Chancery lost. And Owen Ledger, does this mean we'll get hot water on the North Stand?
Is the clock going to be cleaned for Matt's sake on the North as well, so he doesn't have to look at it? Are we going to finally get rid of Presto?
In 10 hours, yeah.
Are we finally going to get rid of Presto on the on the West Stand as well? Is that going to finally disappear? Oh God! Let's not get too carried away with ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Let's just temper our expectations somewhat. Let's come to Aaron then next, if we can. Aaron, mate, how's things? You all right?
Is it Christmas?
Nearly, mate. I mean, we can all go in the shop and buy us Christmas presents now. Anyway, do you know what? Ironically enough, this shirt turned up this morning from a well-known Chinese retailer, and I thought it was very ironic how that turned up today, and I'll be going and spending all my money in the club shop in the next coming days, buying the proper shirts as well.
Yeah, it's. Do you know what, mate? I won't lie. I haven't been since Peterborough. Me and my dad decided after Peterborough that we won't go anymore because the way that he was, I won't even mention his name because he don't deserve it, but the way that he was running our football club and treating the fans. He didn't deserve no one's money. So me and my dad haven't been for what, 2 years is it now? 2 years? Yeah, 2 years. So hopefully now, maybe in the next couple of weeks when I get another Saturday off work, I can get back down to Hillsborough and get behind the boys again with my dad and do what a father and son should be able to do on a Saturday afternoon. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, 'cause that's what it's all about, isn't it, Aaron?
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's all about those memories that are made and stuff. And you know, obviously, I speak for people in the Discord chat. They were, saying, my lad really wants to go to a game. How do I tell him that he can't go and things? And I know people are like, well, you just tell him that he's a kid.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's not like that though, is it? Like I want to take Freddie, my lad, to a game. I'm not going to take him tomorrow. I don't think it's quite the as much as it's going to be a great atmosphere and stuff. I think just me personally,
it's not the place, mate.
Me personally, he's only 4 years old. Like I'm not going to be in the right headspace. I don't think. I'll be all over. But I will be taking him to a game this season. I just want to bring this up from John with his super chat as well, saying towards his ticket. Thanks, John. Really do appreciate it. But yeah, Aaron, it has just in a weird way. I know there has been division as well, so it has created that division. But I think also it has brought everyone together as well, hasn't it? And can I just say as well, Jebison has scored for Preston.
Come on.
And it's now 3-2 to Preston against Sheffield United. So
what a result.
What this weekend, fucking, do you know what? I said I didn't care about the result tomorrow. I fucking do. Can we have
Oxford 2-0.
Can we have a Sheffield double tomorrow? And that would just absolutely
that'd be the cherry on top, mate. Cherry on top.
Preston have still got to win yet, so let's not get too carried away.
It's mad though. Obviously, we've been in utter turmoil for God knows how long. Since I think I saw on like one of the Sky News interviews from a Wednesday fan, it was this has been happening for 8 years. We've been in turmoil with this guy for 8 years, and it's mad how obviously administration isn't the nicest thing to go into.
No,
but it's mad how something so bad and so damaging for a football club can bring a fan base together. So it's like I was at work, mate. So I didn't even know we'd got out. I didn't even know we'd gone into administration until 2:00.
What was your what? Go on then, talk me through when you saw that. Did you believe it at first? Did you think it was a bit of a wind up?
Right. So I found out by one of my mates. He's one of them he takes a piss out of everything. So I thought he's taking mick here. He's probably found a photoshopped like picture and he sent it me going blah, blah, blah and whatever. And then I go check Sky News on Twitter and I go bouncing to my other manager, like to one of my managers. He's a Forest fan, but we won't hold that against him. But I go bouncing to him saying he's fucking gone. Mind my language. But I literally go bouncing to him saying he's effing gone. And I was over the moon, mate. Like I've been on cloud 9 for the first time with this football club in 2 years today over administration.
Yeah, I know he's mental in it. Like I said, we should be angry. We should be really, livid that this has happened and stuff. But actually, it's nearing. Obviously, it isn't the best scenario. The best scenario would have just been to sell the club and say like, look, these new owners are coming in tomorrow. But the fact that it's happened and we're going to be released from the shackles that are Depon Chansiri and we can actually move on from this point is quite good. I just want to bring this one up. Another super chat from Tom says, going my youngest of 3 boys, 5 years old, first one to be into football for the first time this year after him discovering football last year. Finally back in Hillsborough. We're all Wednesday, aren't we, Tom? Thank you very much for that super chat as well. Yeah, it's just I suppose you're buzzing, aren't you, to get back there, Aaron? If you've missed it for that long, I mean, have you genuinely missed it as well? I mean, I presume you are because no non-football fan kind of comes on these sorts of shows and comes up and talks about it. So I bet it's killed you to stay away, hasn't it?
It's like it has, because especially going with my dad, because without my dad and without his dad, I wouldn't be a Wednesday fan. And I went to my first game in 2012 when I was 6. And I'll always remember it because it was, I think we played Blackpool in the cup, and it was a 7:45 kickoff. And obviously at that time, at 6 years old, you're normally in bed. Do you know what I mean? So it's memories like that that make you fall in love with football and make you fall in love with going. And over this past year and a half, 2 years, I've fell out of love with football completely, because it was like, I can't be bothered with it. It's dragging everything down. It's making me mood crap, because on a Saturday afternoon, Wednesday, you're getting beat every week. We're not really like, there's no structure, and there's no like, you don't see a way forward. You don't see a way past it. So it has killed me not going, because I get behind the lads every week, even though I don't enjoy it. Well, I didn't enjoy it. Now I do. But just getting behind them lads for an hour and a half on a Saturday afternoon, going down with my dad, having a laugh with everyone else. I might have to go get a season ticket for Cop next season, can't I?
Aaron, it'd be great to see you back, mate. And I'm sure a lot of other people listening might be in the same position where they've chosen to stay away. And yeah, Matt, before I move on, Aaron, massive thanks for coming on, pal. I do appreciate it. I'm going to move on, but Matt, like to see so many people that have made that decision not to go, they might not have bought a season ticket this season, or in Aaron's case, 2 seasons ago now. Just to see them come back and things and have football back in their life, they might have made that plea or pledge that they're not going to go whilst he's in charge. Well, he's gone now, and it's going to be great to see in it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a number of people who've made a really difficult decision this year to not attend football matches surrounding Sheffield Wednesday. And I think they'll have their own personal reasons for doing so, obviously, the chairman being the main reason surrounding it. I cannot wait to be able to welcome Wednesday fans back into Hillsborough and kind of back into the madness of everything that's going on surrounding Sheffield Wednesday. It is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, just looking at some of the comments that were coming in from people over the course of that, and there has genuinely this evening and over the last, 14, 15 hours, been an outpouring of positivity amongst the fan base for something that any other football club would chart as potentially their darkest day, whereas actually for us it feels like the first day of like a new dawn kind of starting. I think it was it Liam Palmer's mom who actually posted something about it being basically a phoenix rising from the ashes, and there is you can pull out all the cliches in the world, but for many fans today, it has felt very much like this is the beginning of a new era, when we can actually start to move on and look forward with some level of positivity about what's going on. Just before you move on, in terms of your comments, James, I'll pull. Sorry, your for the X Spaces, I'll just pull up a few comments here from George Nixon, who's crying more Chansiri or Chris Wilder. This one I would like to highlight from Around the Grounds. So for those of you who don't know or don't already follow Around the Grounds, I know his following's massive, capital M, capital A. So please do go and give him a watch. It's I'm a very emotional fan today. Still can't believe he's gone. Remember my dad taking me to my first ever game today. The first thing I did was ring him to say he was gone. Historic day for the football club. I know I'm not oversharing here, because he's shared himself on social media some incredibly deeply personal news surrounding his own family. And if you look at the videos and they're a bit more subtle around things and notice the videos that he himself has been posting this season, he has been using the opportunity to tick off a number of grounds that he hasn't been able to go to. I am very much looking forward to that man being firmly seated back in Sheffield 6 and documenting all of the wonderful things that are going on match days. And then the last
just before you move on, I just want to say as well to Lee, like, I know I've messaged him privately as well, but all my thoughts are with you, and I know in the grand scheme of things it won't make much difference, but I hope that football, and certainly Sheffield Wednesday, might give him something back and a bit of respite. Yeah. And do you know what I mean? In these times, it might, at least if there's not that to worry about. Again, I'm being careful what I say, because obviously it is very difficult, but at least that might be just one less thing in these times.
Absolutely. And the last one here from Amber, because obviously when we, as Sheffield Wednesday fans, we've talked about the difficult relationships and people have different relationships of how they've got into this football club. I've highlighted this one from Amber here, who is another South Stand, another one who sits on the South Stand here. Amber has said, me and my dad didn't get on, but he took me to my first Wednesday match 40-ish years ago. I need to thank him for the love of this football club.
Yeah, great one there. Yeah, that's it, innit? Like, but people were falling out of love with it. I hope them people are then now going to come back again. As I mentioned, there was no shame in admitting that and walking away from the football club. But you are more than welcome back. Everyone is more than welcome back. Right, let's. I think it was Peter that was next. Peter, mate, how many whiskies deep are you this afternoon?
Well, I've had a couple of beers
mate,
to celebrate.
I'm going to say it's a couple. It sounds like you've had a skinful, mate. Like
I've just had a couple of celebratory beers. I can't stop laughing at United at the minute because it's,
Peter, let's just focus on Wednesday the other week. They're just inferior, aren't they? Let's just focus on us. But I know exactly what you mean, mate. But Peter, like, this afternoon, it has been a bit of a whirlwind, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've had quite a few chats on here and privately about is this nightmare ever going to end? And it's now ended, and now the Blades have thrown a 2-0 lead away. It's nailed on for Ugbo to score tomorrow. Absolutely,
I'm with you, Peter. I'm with you.
Joe,
absolutely. Get 44 games without a goal. Ugbo, first goal scorer. Fill your boots.
Peter, I just want to read some of the comments here. Nat says, here he is, Big Sam. Steve says, he's here, pissed up, Big Sam. Steve says, go on, Peter, and a beer emoji. George says, Peter has just come up to the surface of the whiskey pool he's swimming in. Alex put Big Sam in big capital letters as well. There's a lot of love for you there, Peter, mate.
Unbelievable. Big Sam. Can't believe it.
Just before you move on, Peter, to make your point, because I know you'll speak really eloquently about everything that's going on this evening. EK Ugbo's only 5-2 at any time tomorrow. Goal scorer, criminal, absolutely criminal odds. That
it should be 5-2 to pull a shirt on ever again. Not on any time. Christ Almighty, hey.
I know. What was your emotion then, Peter, when you found out the news? And when you saw the picture of them taking the seats out, did you think it was AI? Because a lot of people that I sent that to.
When Joe Cram put that picture of the year, I couldn't agree more. It was the picture of the year. Fantastic. And like you said, James, I've had some emotional times watching Wednesday. I've cried a lot in my 50 years watching Wednesday. I cried at the Peterborough game. Cried at Wembley, and tomorrow at 3:00 I will be emotional tomorrow, and I'm sure quite a few others will. And
Peter, what's your lad like? So I know he's a big Wednesday night. Obviously, he's only young lad. What's he been like this afternoon?
He's made up with it. He loves it. He loves going the away days. And first thing he said was, just thank God for that. We can start enjoying it again, Dad. And that's the kid at 14 who didn't really express his feelings that much. And it does mean a lot to everybody. We've heard comments throughout the night tonight from young people, from old people, sentiments that you've seen on Twitter, and all over the place. And tomorrow it'll be. I think Wednesday will win tomorrow, and the fans will definitely help get them over the line. This sort of togetherness is back.
Yeah, and just you see the pictures again, and I referenced it before, that in the club shop, people spending the money. Yeah. That woman, 5 shirts. I'm sure there's other people that are the same. You see people in the comments, I bought 5 tickets for the game tomorrow. It's like everyone's been, I want to say, I do want to applaud all those people that have stayed away as well. People can't get to every game. They're not all season ticket holders and things like that. They might live further afield and stuff. And I'm sure there will be some people that live further afield that might have already gone to a couple of games already, and they'll already be, maybe tomorrow is a bit too early for them, but they'll be planning. Next, the Norwich game, or whether it's the one after that or whatever, finally getting back into the ground, because a lot of people have made a lot of sacrifices, haven't they, Peter?
They have, and he's tested I mean, even me, you know me, similar to you, James, I live and breathe the club, but it's tested my resolve to the max. This past, particularly the past 2 or 3 weeks when I genuinely thought there was no end to it. And then when I heard the regulator said what he'd got to say, it didn't really fill me with any confidence. And I thought this is going to be a long, drawn-out thing. And then I kept thinking back to the Reading fans and reading what the Reading fans had said about it all. It's going to be a long haul, good luck and stick with it and all that. And those sort of comments that you read and you think about, there's stuff in your life that always, we've heard it tonight, that stick with you. And that the thoughts of, those words from that Reading fan that night, when I heard him say it, have sort of haunted me. And I've thought of thinking, the number of times I've thought about him saying it, about how long a road it's been. And when you think about it, it's like Matt's just said, the last 2 or 3 months, or from May to where we are now, it's incredible to think where we are and where we were. And to think we were at Wembley having the days of our lives, whatever it was, less than 2 years ago now. And to think that the night against Peterborough were 2.5 years ago, and you just think to yourself, wow.
You know, the other thing as well, Peter, I hope that the new prospective owners or people that are looking at the football club look at things like this today, especially the response, and they'll, you know, I hope they come tomorrow as well if they are looking, or you know, if they've been able to get over, or at least just see what the atmosphere is like, because I think we're going to do the football club very proud tomorrow, I feel, and you know, if you look at that, we talk a lot, don't we, Peter, about the potential of this football club and the untapped potential, because it hasn't been, you know, there's a lot of things that haven't been done that can be done, and you often talk about the quick wins and things.
Yeah,
but I think when he sees tomorrow, when people look at the football club and how many people are going to be there, they'll think, wow, this is a, you know, this is a special football club and an opportunity here to actually, you know, to actually do something.
Yeah, they need to tap into it. You know, Wednesday, you know, we keep saying it's a massive club, and we are a massive club, massive fan base, oodles of potential. You know, you know, England's 4th largest city. We're nailed on to go back to League One. I put a comment in the comments earlier. You know, we're 1.6. We're at 1.6. This is how daft I am. We want 1.6 points per game to stay up. You know, what's all that about? We're on -6, and I'm thinking about stopping up. You know, the eternal optimist. I've already worked out. We need to get 56 points. I'm sat here. I've only had a couple of beers, and I'm thinking, what's all that about?
Imagine if you have a couple more.
Why am I thinking about stopping up? I must be the only Wednesday fan in the world that was thinking about stopping up.
Imagine if you have a couple of more, Peter, then you will be putting a $5 on Ugbo scoring tomorrow.
Well, I don't search what price we are to get in playoffs.
Peter, just stop there, mate. We're getting a little bit carried away.
Too deep, yeah. Too deep.
Peter, the league's shit. Don't listen to him. The league's crap. There's only Coventry are any good.
Yeah, they are. I agree, mate. Oh, by the way, well, I'll tell you later, Matt. But it's private conversation. Message me later, Matt. I've got something for you.
No
anyway,
Peter, massive thanks for coming on, pal.
Thanks, you're welcome.
As always. It's been great. I know there's loads of other people waiting as well. I've got Sups and I've got Doc the Owl, the Irish Owl. Everyone else that's requested, apologies. I'm going to have to. We'll wrap it up after those two. Matt, is there any more comments in
James, again, just streaming to positivity is Liam. Just 15 points to make up. Miracle 3.0 is on. Is it right that the River Don has changed direction out of Flow of Sympathy? Was one of my best ones from James Ward. I am really gutted that I didn't flag this one before Peter had left, which he said, if Pete ends with a massive belch like Barney from The Simpsons, I will piss myself. That was the only thing that was missing. And then Paul Turton as well. Bought my ticket today, and as I walked down Penistone Road, an old gentleman asked me if I was a Wednesday fan, gave me a hug, and started dancing, saying he's gone. Just so... I have to keep reminding myself, it's administration.
We've won the league, Matt. Can you imagine when we actually do win the league? Christ almighty, I have no idea what's going to happen, you know, but it is, the positivity is back.
Just one last one, James. What's happened, and this is something to remember, which is James Wright has put, what happened to our beautiful club should be made an example to all existing and potential club owners of every club. All clubs mean so much to every football fan, myself included. The reason why I'm highlighting that, James, is because me and you, in particular myself, have parroted on here for a long time that I think the only end to this nightmare was going to be the IFR. Actually, it stopped just before that. But again,
do you know what, that bloke,
what's the last of it.
What's his name? The guy that for the David
Cogan. Yeah, David Cogan.
He's like, phew.
He's cleared his desk for his first day.
All them in the entry, he's just gone like that and ripped that one up and gone, don't have to deal with that one anymore. Thank God for that.
Clapping his hands together. Yep, we'll wipe that clean. Start again.
Or maybe he might take it as a win. We might get it on the honours board and take it as a moral victory. I'm not too sure. Right, let's come to Sups then, mate. How's it going, pal? You all right?
I'm not saying I've had out to do with it, but is anyone interested in 500 kilo of unrefined African gold?
Go on, how much did you buy it for, Subs? Clearly not enough, because he hasn't got enough money to run the club, has he? So unless you nicked it, is that what you're saying?
Lads, I'm going to level with you. I've been out since 4.
Yes, come on, like it. I thought you were going to tell me you'd been out since Charlton last week, mate.
Well, that will probably be closer to it, mate. Yeah, it would. But, I'm honestly, I'm absolutely buzzing. I mean, the lads in my group chat, they're asking why I'm so happy, and
for context as well, you live in Wales, I want to say, is that right?
I do.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah, I moved to North Wales, and
so all your mates are not Wednesday fans.
No. There's a lot of Liverpool fans in there, a lot of Everton fans. So obviously they want to know why I'm so happy, and unless you've lived it like we have, it's it is a complicated story, isn't it? But tomorrow it's just gonna be incredible. I mean, I'm able to get back to Hillsborough. We spoke on the debate show a couple of weeks ago, James, about the fact that I can't get there because of the boycott on match day tickets. Tomorrow is just going to be absolutely fantastic. I mean, I'm not an overly emotional person, but today I've really felt it. I'm like I said, I'm not really that emotional. I'm not a hugger, but tomorrow, I'm hugging strangers. Come and get some, everyone, because they're on offer.
Well, come and get what? Some of that gold that are you bringing that along with you?
A hug, a kilo of gold, whatever anyone wants. It's all available.
In the comments, Steve said, "Sups by name, sups by nature." Lol. But yeah,
I like it.
Is it? I mentioned relief. Is that the same for you, Sups? Is that been your emotion this afternoon?
Yeah, I think so. I think the fact that this has been kind of our lives for too long. I mean, you lads keeping us going with the podcasts, and the information has just really been helpful. But I think a lot of people are pouring out their hearts tonight, and I think that's probably right.
I mean, Matt's gutted. He's not going to do any more deep dives for a while, so he's more than gutted.
But that work that you've put in, James, the work that Matt's put in, all of that has rolled up to the end result. It's all helped. We've had to hit him from every angle, whether that be in the media, whether it be in his pocket, whether it be through YouTube videos, whether it be through all of us, not spending. Everything has kind of rolled up to help the cause. And, there is a lot of emotion, and that's rightly so, because it affects us in all different ways. I've been thinking of my dad today, who's not here anymore. what he'd be saying to me. I've been thinking of my daughters who've been with me to games, holding up the leaflets and chanting things that you wouldn't encourage your kids to be chanting, but encouraging them. And with me not being able to get to a home game since Portsmouth last season, tomorrow it's just gonna be it. I mean, it feels like that there is a little bit of reticence because we are in administration, but it feels like we've got the champagne corks out and we have to.
Louis said it feels like we've just been promoted again. It just feel like that, doesn't it?
Well, today and tomorrow isn't the time to worry about the issues and the complications about administration. That's Monday and Tuesday. Today and tomorrow is about getting on it, getting the champagne out, being thankful that he's fucking gone, that we are back because we are. And I tell you what, League One, look out.
Yeah. Look, that's a long way down the road, Sups. I think you're right. Let's just focus on tomorrow. Let's just focus on, let's make tomorrow as good as it possibly can be. You know what? I don't know who it was that mentioned walking down Penistone Road and getting a hug. There's going to be a lot of smiles, I think tomorrow as well. Sups, massive thanks for coming on, pal. Get back to your beers, mate, and enjoy the rest of this evening. Any more comments before we come to Doc?
Yeah, absolutely. So, John Gurnell, it's been difficult not going travel from the other side of the city to Hillsborough Corner to have a few beers with supporting pubs on Wednesday evening, which just shows how much of a disruption that ordinary match-going fans have had to their day-to-day routine in showing of backing kind of obviously what's been going on recently. This one from Dan on tomorrow. Let's look after each other tomorrow. There'll be a fair few fans worse for wear after a few sherbets.
Well, just on that, tomorrow I'm going to see the Steve Bracknell event at the City Hall as well.
You got a long day.
Well, yeah, it's a long day, but like obviously Steve Bracknell, a big Wednesday eye. That's going to be very interesting as to how he's like as well. Tomorrow, because he's been very invested in it all.
Absolutely.
As well.
So Matt Hyde, could this be the end of the emergency podcast? I mean this very nicely, Matt. I fucking hope so.
Wait, whoa! What about when the new owners come in? That's got
one more. One more, haven't we? We got one more to do. As Darren Moore once said, we've got one more. Louis Nuttall could do a deep dive on the African gold. This was when you were mentioning about the deep dives. George put deep dive into Peter's bottle of whiskey next. And then somebody had put, I've lost the comment, so apologies. Somebody had put, I think Peter's beat me to it.
Yeah, definitely. Right, let's come to Doc then, if we can. Doc, how's things, mate? You all right?
Yeah, man, good. I'm just laughing there now because you're on about the Friday emergency podcast. It seems to be a lot of stuff happens on a Friday with Wednesday lately, isn't it? Maybe we should change to Sheffield Friday.
Well, it could be. Yeah, it could have been any day, Doc. I'm just glad that it's happened at the end of it. How have you been this afternoon?
Oh, listen, man, I tell you now, we've a great group of people here in Ireland at the moment. A great following. I'm not the spokesman for them, but I just said I'd come up and I just have a few words and just to say how thrilled we are that finally the saga has ended, and it might actually bring a lot of us back over. I know one of the guys in our group already has booked flights to the Sheffield Derby without tickets, but he will get a ticket. He's a guy that way, but we will get there. And for all the hard times and everything that we've all been through, we're so relieved to see the end of Chancery. Now, it's not going to be, obviously, a glory patch. Night is dark is just before the dawn, as we all know.
Yeah, definitely. But it's I'm just so thankful that it's come. Like I said, I was worried that it's going to drag on and on and on and on, but it's finally come, and it's so weird that it's administration's a horrible thing. It should be horrible anyway, but it just shows how bad it's been, Doc, as well, that we're reacting to this news in this sort of way.
Exactly, like a lot of clubs will be like, oh, geez, administration, oh, what's next? Like you look at it if it happened in the Premier League, oh, relegation league, oh, Championship, League One, league. We're like, bring on League One, let us get relegated, let bring on League One. But again, we gotta just take the news as positive, because the guy who was in charge in inverted commas with us is gone. We now can can book our flights, our stadium tickets, we can book our matches, we can spend money in the club shop, we can do everything that we need to do that we couldn't do before. Support the club, support everything that needs to be done to get us back to where we belong.
Yeah, definitely, Doc. Massive thanks for coming on, pal. Do really appreciate you coming on. Yeah, thanks to everyone as well for coming up and speaking. I've just been smiling from ear to ear. The comments has been absolutely top notch as well. Matt, like before we finish, the positivity's back in it. I know Craig won't like that, but it's just so nice, isn't it, just to be smiling again and everyone just. Yeah, I think a lot of people think or feel that they've got their Wednesday back now, hopefully.
But yeah, I'm just going to highlight this one from Nat, because I think it sums up exactly what I would like to say, but far better than I could. So Nat Owls82 has said, heartwarming to see so many people mentioning family roots today and getting sentimental. You don't pick your club picks you, born into it and proud of it. Today is a day, as Liam has said also, it's been a proper shitstorm Friday. Today is a day that really does symbolise that. And it is, again, as Doc has just rightly put, not out of the woods yet by any stretch of the imagination, but it's the first glimmer of real hope of the winds of change are coming in Sheffield 6. And yeah, I mean, I would. One thing that I would like to say before we end, James, is I hope them fucking E-bars are ready tomorrow. Because my goodness me, I think they're going to do some trade, aren't they, tomorrow? Jesus wept.
Yeah, I think they might be able to move the fan zone. Might just put it on Hillsborough Park instead. Do you know what I mean? Just get it on there. And I'm sure. People will be flocking. Well, the fan zone will be full. If they opened it at 9, it'd be full by 10:30. Well, 10 past probably, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? The shop is going to be mad busy as well. Please don't get upset if they haven't got your size in the shirts. I'm sure they'll be crying out to get as many more that they possibly can. Just don't get upset with the people that, this wasn't expected, was it? Do you know what I mean, Matt? They've I know Chris was saying earlier, scrambling together to get enough pies for tomorrow and enough beer and things. So, yeah, let's not get angry at anyone. Yeah. Everyone's trying their best.
If you walk into the Megast or tomorrow and you go in and you think, oh my goodness me, this isn't for me, let me give you a top tip here. Go online, order it there. Because the money still goes to the same place, and you can sit from the, don't do it around Hillsborough because the signal will be fucked tomorrow because it will be busy. Apart from you, who seems to get signal whenever.
Hey, top tip. Well, I don't know if I should be sharing this because then maybe it won't work anymore. Top tip: knock it onto 4G instead of 5G. Works a treat. But now people probably won't know how to do that, so it might be all right. So
But yeah, do it. Like, again, just anything online that you can do. I know there's been a mad rush on obviously tickets for today and for the game tomorrow. Just enjoy tomorrow for what it is. Again, we've been saying all season, James, haven't we? The 90 minutes of football is irrelevant. Tomorrow, the 90 minutes of football is irrelevant for a slightly different reason, and it's a good one.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just going to read a few more comments out before we go. No Leaf Clover, love this podcast. The fan base love this club. Hans said, thank you, James and Matt. Adam, top podcast, lads. Really been a shining light through the tough time. Thank you both. Amber, thanks, guys. It's been great. See you all tomorrow. And then from Steve, this has been really uplifting tonight, lads. Thanks for doing the pod. It's been a pleasure. It's been great to come on. My wife's delighted that the Budweisers are no longer in the fridge. It means there's more space in there for something else. But it's been fantastic. Massive thanks, everyone. Matt, it's over, mate. It's over.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks of madness surrounding. Oh, is it going to be this owner? Is it going to be this owner? And then, it's just What a good Friday. What a good Friday it's been.
Great Friday. Let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy tomorrow as well, and we'll see you all again on Sunday. Cheers.